Well, hello there. It's time for another tale from Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wompy, now called the town of Meh. And it's an exciting time indeed, for the grand cow was preparing, along with her staff, of being the audience at the annual Tri tournament that takes place all this week, where we have teams playing soccer and tennis and baseball. That's why it's Tri, because there's 3 different kinds of games and teams are made up. So we have for instance, the Ribbits versus the Talking Humans. That Smiley Wiggle, or Wiggle Smiley, and Dr. Farquhar had put a team together. And then it's the Kangaroos versus the Pirates, and so on. You get the idea. And the Grumpatump, well, he felt like it was the Grumpatump versus anybody who wanted to play against him, because they were going to have wonderful fun as they rotated through each game, winners, losers, in a bracket system to see what was happening. So, as it happened this week, the grand cow and all her staff were watching in excitement because they were positioned to watch all 3 games at once, which was amazing. And then, of course, they could get closer depending on how they decided to do and where the interests were. But the games were all exciting. Some of them were very, very close, nearly tied. Some needed tiebreakers, and others were very terrible with like 25-0, and others were just somebody lost count. And it was all for good fun, and there were drinks and food, of course, and lots of people in the audiences, and Talking Animals in the audience had a riotous time. Just lovely. Nobody worked that week. They just enjoyed themselves watching, and of course many participated because they were on the teams, or they were referees for the team. So it was wonderful. Until Thursday. You see, the games would end on Saturday. But Thursday, all of a sudden, there was a loud whistle blowing on the soccer field for a long time. And everything came to a halt. Halt. Like it stopped. In fact, it was so loud that the teams playing the other sports, tennis, baseball, they also stopped what they were doing to look over to the soccer field to see what was happening. And apparently, in one of the clashes between the players, they'd fallen in the dirt and kind of dragged along themselves. And in doing so, they tore up a little bit of the field with their cleats. I mean, the humans wore cleats. The Talking Animals, not so much. Anyways, as they did that, they unearthed something. Something marvelous, spectacular, unexpected. And so all the members of both teams gathered around it in a big circle. And they were just staring at it. And all the other players on all the other fields and courts were so curious, they all came running over too. Of course, they couldn't see what was happening, even if they tried to push their way forward, because the first set of teams, those 2 soccer teams, were still there staring at it. And somebody finally ran and got the grand cow, who was very excited because she was looking after her new twins. And she wondered what was going on too. So she left them with her mate, Mr. Bull, and ran down to the soccer field. And they let her through. And she saw what was in the ground. And then she said, "Oh, moo!" And everything went very quiet. And they just kept staring. And we'll have to figure out what they were staring at next week. And we'll see what's going on and why the grand cow made such a loud moo. See you next week, everyone.